Hello and welcome to episode 51 of the Fish Tank. So there's now more episodes of the Fish Tank than there is states in America. Although I think I could probably actually have said that before episode 47 of the Fish Tank, because there's only 46 states in America that use the name state, and the other 4 states instead call themselves Commonwealths, and I think it's Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts and Virginia that are officially Commonwealths as opposed to states. So a bit of knowledge shared there in the Fish Tank. Or alternatively, you could just say it's episode 51 of the Fish Tank, and it's the first episode of Series 6, or the first episode of the second block of 50 episodes. So it's time for Apology Week now. On last week's show, I referred to Newcastle footballer Joey Barton as being part-time footballer, part-time thug. So apologies for that. It was a bit unnecessary. Obviously, he doesn't really play all that much football, if I'm being honest. So yeah, as I say, probably should have more been sort of 3/4 thug, 1/4 footballer, because he spends a little bit too much time sat in a prison cell to be fully classed as a football player. And yet, as soon as he gets out, he's probably going to get in the starting 11 as well. I mean, not really a very good example to kids, is he? But there you go. So what's been happening? Well, last week's show didn't really get the high amount of viewers that I would have liked. Shame, because it was actually quite a good show with my agent on it, Izzy Mental, who he is actually a genuine agent. He obviously frequently gets telephone calls. I mean, I had to instruct him the other week to turn down the latest Harry Potter film. He just threw me the remote control and told me to turn it down myself. But yeah, I can't get everything from my agent. He is a bit like Darren Lamb. And also the Chapeltown tank that's gone missing, and no one's got any idea where on earth it is. A lot of new information's come out about this. Apparently, it's a Churchill Mark II tank, and it fought at Normandy. It was over at Normandy during D-Day, and so it's actually quite an important piece of history. And the Facebook group, sort of trying to get it back, has got more members than the Fish Tank fan club and the Jimbo Studios fan club as well. So people are obviously very concerned about this, and good on them as well. It is an important piece of history. Because let's face it, man, everyone's on Facebook as well as pretty much everyone's on there. Unless you're an alcoholic, when you're not allowed on Facebook because they don't like people who drink heavily on Facebook. Instead, you've got your own little social networking site called the Off Your Facebook. So what's been going on this week? Well, the US primary elections have been going on at the moment. Hillary Clinton has been going down in the polls. That last sentence was quite a rare one, because I actually said the words Clinton and going down and didn't mention Monica Lewinsky. So not often that happens. Yeah, she's been going down in the polls. Barack Obama was scheduled to win in New Hampshire by 10 percentage points, and he did. He should take away 13 from that number, because he lost by 3 percentage points to Hillary Clinton, who's fought a remarkable comeback, especially when you consider she's on a shoestring budget of about $100 million, I think. So she's got ridiculously large amounts of finance behind her, and well, it's fair enough, I suppose. But also Pakistan are about to have some presidential elections, and Benazir Bhutto, who was due to stand in them, was actually shot about 3 weeks ago now. And General Musharraf, who's the current president, or well, he's not actually a general anymore because he's given up his place, said it was her own fault because she stuck her head out the sunroof window and waved to people. I mean, there's been times where I've been in a car and there's a bit of a laugh, sort of, put my head through a sunroof window and just sort of like waved to people and said, hello. I've never been shot in the head, so seems a bit harsh. But there you go. Anyway, it's now time for the Celebometer, and I would like to get Michael Portillo on the show, because that's if he's still alive. Because yesterday I was looking on the BBC website, on the homepage, it was advertising a TV programme saying how to kill a human being, and then it said with Michael Portillo. So is he still alive or not? I mean, what the length that people go to now to get onto television? It's just an absolute joke. The celebrity culture we live in, I wouldn't be surprised if actually people are so desperate that they would sort of, as a last ditch attempt at fame, actually go onto a TV programme just to kill himself. So that's the way we could be going, perhaps. So as far as I'm aware, Michael Porter didn't actually kill himself on live TV, so hopefully he's still alive. So it looked pretty bad if he did actually kill himself on TV. Or if he's died of natural causes between this being recorded and you watching it. So apologies if anything has happened to him. It's not to do with me, I'm not aware of it. It's time for Headline of the Week now anyway, which is from an American newspaper. It says, astronaut takes blame for gas in spacecraft. So good of him to take the blame, because a lot of people, when they do it, just sort of claim it's nothing to do with them, which is a fairly common thing to do, albeit very, very underhand. So should be ashamed if you do that. And it's now time for Quote of the Week as well, which comes from that man Kevin Keegan, who was reinstalled as Newcastle manager last night, having previously said that he'd never go back to football management. And apparently he's not watched a match since 2005, not watched a football game since then, so he's probably got no idea who any of the Newcastle players are. But anyway, he said, I've had an interest in racing all my life, or longer really. So you heard it here first. Apparently, obviously Kevin Keegan, when he was in his mum's womb before he was born, obviously a keen fan of racing. Not sure whether it's like Formula 1 racing or horse racing or whatever, but obviously a very early starter, Mr. Keegan. And so that's all for this week's show. Join us next week when it'll be a full year of the Fish Tank, episode 52. But before we go, apparently I've just heard that a man who was the biggest critic of the NHS in the UK had a heart attack last night. Apparently doctors are now quite pleased with his condition. He's died. I'll see you next week.